Welcome to the course Asia 353, Introduction to Hindi Film. This week's topic is media and politics, and this week's film is Anusha Rizvi's Peepli Live. The film deals with the burning issue of farmer suicide in India. While tackling the issue of farmer suicide, the film exposes corruption in bureaucracy, politics, and media. So let's start. The Indian agriculture scene for last 20-30 years have been facing the issue of farmer suicide. Farmers in massive numbers have committed suicide in India for last 25-30 years. Almost 300,000 farmers have killed themselves since 1995. The worst hit states are Maharashtra and Andhra Pradesh. More than 12,000 farmers killed themselves in Maharashtra between 2015 and 2018. Almost 10 farmers every day. The other states are not doing much better. The Indian governments, both central and state, have set many commissions to find out the reasons for such alarming numbers. The studies have found a variety of reasons: commercialization of farming, debt, natural catastrophes, droughts, floods, volatile markets, low prices of crops, social issues such as loan taken for marriages of their daughters. To deal with this issue, the governments, both on local and federal level, have started many schemes and offered relief packages. The effectiveness of such programs are often questionable. To know more on this, you can watch a short NDTV report on this issue. The link is below in the description box. The story of the film touches upon one of the burning issues in Indian agriculture: the alarming number of suicides by Indian farmers. However, the main theme of the film is about corruption in politics, bureaucracy, and news media. Through the issues of farmer suicide, the director tried to show the ineffectiveness of bureaucracy, superficiality of the news media, and corruption in politics. Now, I would like to start the discussion on this week's film, Peepli Live. The usual spoiler alert: please watch the film before going further with this video. Natha and Budhya are two farmer brothers from the village of Peepli. They are unable to pay back the loan, and now the bank wants to seize their land. When they go to a local politician seeking some help, he jokingly suggests that one of you should commit suicide and the government will give you compensation. The brothers, in a drunken state in the village tea stall, declare and discuss this idea of suicide. A journalist overhears their conversation and publishes a story in a local newspaper. A national TV news channel picks up the story and sensationalized it. The news gets viral in a very short period of time. The entire news media, all main TV channels, want to cover Natha's suicide live. They come and camp in the village of Peepli. It creates a fair-like atmosphere in Peepli.
काई पहाड़ है कंकर शंकर, बात है छोटी बड़ा पतंगर। काई पहाड़ है कंकर शंकर, बात है छोटी बड़ा पतंगर। अरे इंडिया सर ये चीज धुरंधर, इंडिया सर ये चीज धुरंधर।
Poor Natha suddenly finds himself on the national spotlight. Politicians get involved in this hullabaloo as the elections are due soon. Natha's potential suicide is advantageous to some politicians, and on the other hand, it can seriously damage chances of winning the election for others. In this chaotic situation, Natha is kidnapped and locked in a warehouse. The warehouse catches fire and a burnt dead body is recovered, which is believed to be Natha's. Natha in fact escapes the fire and ends up in a big city to become a construction worker. The media circus leaves the village. the village Peepli stands as it was before, poor, deserted, uninteresting to the world. Although the film raises the issue of farmer suicide in India, the film is in fact a satire, a black satire, mainly on the three societal institutions: politics, bureaucracy, and journalism. I would like to take all three of them here individually and discuss how powerfully and deeply the director penetrated into these issues. With the use of black humor, she exposes the corruption in these areas. I'll start with the politics first. The ruling party of Madhya Pradesh, a state in the Federation of India, has mismanaged the state, and the rural areas in the state are struggling with extreme poverty. There's a by-election coming up which could tilt the balance of power from the ruling party to opposition. Natha's suicide would be another indication of the desperate situation people in the state are facing. This would definitely lead the ruling party losing the election. If Natha commits suicide, the opposition will win the election and might be able to form the government. The attempts from both parties to save Natha or encourage him to kill himself are portrayed in a very comical way. The ruling party tries to find government schemes for Natha to deter him from committing suicide. The opposition party makes him a hero as he's going to sacrifice his life for the betterment of his people, and they shower him with gifts. The futility of the schemes and the gifts are shown in a very comical and humorous way. The water hand pump that is given to Natha by the ruling party is useless without fitting, without proper installation, and Natha does not have money for that. And the television set given by the opposition party is also useless because it is not the immediate need, and it stayed unpacked throughout the film. As Natha belongs to the lower caste, the caste-based politics also kicks in. The leader of the Dalit, the lower caste, sides with the opposition party and declares that Natha will definitely kill himself.
Natha marega! Jarur marega!
The Dalit leader later makes an alliance with the ruling party. The ruling chief minister and he together declare that Natha will not kill himself.
Natha ab nahi marega.
The conflict between the central and the state governments also takes the side stage in the film. The central government agriculture minister announces a ridiculous scheme of a Natha card and puts the burden on the state government to implement it. The political acrobatics in its most ridiculous form is one of the highlights of the film. The film also takes aim on the bureaucratic machinery that tries to implement various government-sponsored schemes to eradicate poverty. In one of the scenes, when the chief minister of the state asks a senior bureaucrat what are the schemes the government has that can help Natha, or rather deter him from suicide, the bureaucrat starts naming the scheme and one by one telling him why Natha is not qualified for them. The names of the schemes are based on the old dead politicians. The names of the schemes are articulated by the characters in a very comical way. Give him a Lal Bahadur. He's not qualified for Indra Awas. Jawahar Rozgar is not for him.
सैंक्शन कर दिया था सर।
एक इंदिरा आवास दे दो।
जी सर, मगर सर वो तो बेघरों के लिए सर।
तो जवाहर रोजगार दे दो।
सर जवाहर रोजगार बेरोजगारी के लिए सर।
तो अन्नपूर्णा तो दे सकते हो यार।
सर अन्नपूर्णा भुखमरी के लिए है, ग्रामीण विकास पूरे गांव के लिए, बाकी बची योजनाओं में शांति संपदा, आयात निर्यात, विकास अवरोही, अवरुद्ध तरक्की, इसके अलावा तो सर कोई योजना नहीं बचती सर।
नहीं है कोई योजना तो एक योजना बना कर ले जाओ।
सर
For bureaucrats, these schemes are just the names. Their effectiveness is not their concern. Under the Lal Bahadur Shastri scheme, Natha gets a hand pump, but he does not have money to install it. And it is not bureaucrats' concern if Natha would be able to use it or not.
Sir, these central government schemes do not cover farmers who are still alive. Our schemes cover only those who are already dead. नथा की एक फाइल तैयार करके लॉ मिनिस्ट्री से कहो कि हाई कोर्ट से रिस्पॉन्स ले ले। आफ्टर ऑल खुदकुशी एक कानूनी मामला है और हम हाई कोर्ट डायरेक्टिव्स के बिना कुछ नहीं कर सकते। किसी रिटायर्ड जज जस्टिस शर्मा की एक फैक्ट फाइंडिंग मिशन भेज दो और मीडिया को तो सलीम साहब संभाल लेंगे।
The biggest satire in this film is on media, especially the television news media. The only concern of the TV channels is TRP, target rating points, the measurement for TV ratings in India. The director Anusha Rizvi herself was a TV journalist and she has seen this world from inside. That's why she was able to take such a powerful jab at TV journalism. In the beginning of the film, in a TV station, the journalists are discussing what to report to get high TRPs. They discuss a silly incident of a girl being kissed by a superstar, and she is still madly in love with the superstar. This could be a sensational news and can bring very high TRPs. This shows how the news media is superficial and always looking for the sensational news. The marriage between the political parties and the news channels represent the biases various media outlets already have. The political parties are dictating what should be the news.
ये अंग्रेजी वाले आजकल बहुत ज़ाहिर उगल रहे हैं हमारे खिलाफ।
अंग्रेजी वालों को देखता कौन है? असली पत्रकार तो हम हैं, जनता की नब्ज पकड़ने वाले।
दीपक, बाई इलेक्शन के पहले कम से कम 15 स्टोरीज चाहिए, वो भी पॉजिटिव।
बाई इलेक्शन आप रिकॉर्ड मार्जिन से जीतने वाले हो।
वो तो हम ही जीतेंगे।
When the media circus reaches Peepli, the real, ugly, corrupt face of the media is shown through their attempts to frame the story. Their senseless obsession with Natha's life has gone so far that they don't even let him go to relieve himself in peace. The media's utter ridiculous way of telling a potentially tragic story of Natha's suicide is comically presented in the film. The soullessness of the media is displayed in one of the rare serious scenes in the film. When the local journalist Rakesh, towards the end of the film, discusses the ethical issue with the main big shot TV journalist Nandita Malik, her response to him was, I paraphrase, "If you care about the ethical issue so deeply, then you are in the wrong business."
कोई लोग डॉक्टर बन जाते हैं, कोई लोग इंजीनियर बन जाते हैं. We're journalists, and this is what we do. If you can't handle this, then you're in the wrong profession.
Rakesh, the local journalist, the only voice of conscience in the film, ultimately dies in the warehouse fire, symbolically ending the film in an extremely pessimistic note. The entire message of the film is summarized in this 1-minute clip showing the reaction of the news media, bureaucrats and politicians when, towards the end of the film, Natha disappeared.
नत्था कहाँ है, इस सवाल का जवाब तो सीएम राम यादव जी ही दे पाएंगे।
गायब हो गया या गायब करवा दिया गया?
We are waiting for the High Court orders.
हम तो ये जानना चाहते हैं कि मुख्य प्रदेश की सुरक्षा व्यवस्था कैसी है
हम सब पता लगा लेंगे।
कि लोग इस तरह दिन दहाड़े गायब हो जाते।
72 घंटे में नत्था आपके सामने होगा।
We are waiting for the High Court order.
18% लोगों का ख्याल है कि नत्था जी भाग गए हैं। 49% का यह मानना है कि नत्था जी अपने इरादे में कामयाब हो गए हैं। 14% इसके पीछे इस्लामिक आतंकवादियों का हाथ बताते हैं। 6% नक्सलियों की साजिश और 7% अमेरिका को जिम्मेदार ठहराते हैं। सारी कम्युनिस्ट पार्टीज राज्य सरकार का, केंद्रीय सरकार का, डीएम का, बेरोजगारी का, भुखमरी का, गरीबी का, अमेरिका का और सारे इश्यूज का खंडन करती हैं।
We are waiting for the High Court order.
Before I end our analysis of the film, I would like to give another example of Anusha Rizvi's genius. The ridiculousness of the politics and bureaucracy is represented in the dark humor when Agriculture Minister announces launch of Natha card. It is a card for the farmers who plan to commit suicide so that their family members can get compensation without any bureaucratic hassles.
एक कार्ड अनाउंस करो, नत्था कार्ड, डेडिकेटेड टू नत्था। ये कार्ड उन परिवारों को दिया जाएगा जो पॉवर्टी लाइन के नीचे हैं या जिनके मेंबर्स सुसाइड करना चाहते हैं।
It is absurdity at its best, a card for those who wish to commit suicide. Anusha Rizvi raises the absurdity to one more level when a news channel reports that 65,000 farmers have already applied for Natha card. That means 65,000 farmers have expressed their wish to commit suicide. Such an absurd situation.
नत्था दास माणिकपुरी के नाम से शुरू हुई एक नई सरकारी योजना। इसके तहत आत्महत्या के इच्छुक किसान परिवारों को दिया जाएगा एक नत्था कार्ड और अब तक 65,000 से भी ज्यादा किसानों ने अपनी अर्जियां दाखिल की।
The absurdity does not finish here. It goes even further. Natha, who supposedly died in the warehouse fire, is not eligible for Natha card. Rather, his family is not eligible for Natha card compensation because it was not a suicide, it was an accident. Natha himself is disqualified from getting the Natha card. What a strange world. Please watch the film, do the readings. We will discuss the film when we meet. I sign off with this folk song, Chola Mati Ke Ram, a typical representation of rural India. Enjoy.
चोला माटी के राम, एकर का भरोसा चोला माटी के रे, चोला माटी के हो, चोला माटी के राम, एकर का भरोसा चोला माटी के रे, चोला माटी के राम, एकर का भरोसा चोला माटी के रे, द्रोणा जैसे गुरु चले गए कारण जैसे दानी, संगी कारण जैसे दानी, बाली जैसे वीर चले गए रावण जैसे अभिमानी, चोला माटी के राम, एकर का भरोसा चोला माटी के रे, कोनो रिहिस ना कोनो रहा भैया ही सबके पारी, एक दिन आई सबके पारी, काल को नोला छोड़े नहीं राजा रंक भिखारी, चोला माटी के राम, एकर का भरोसा चोला माटी के रे, भाव से पा लगे बरहे ते हरि के नाम सुमर ले, संगी हरि के नाम सुमर ले, ए दुनिया माया के रे पगला जीवन मुक्ति कर ले, चोला माटी के राम, एकर का भरोसा चोला माटी के रे, चोला माटी के हो, चोला माटी के राम, एकर का भरोसा चोला माटी के रे, चोला माटी के राम, एकर का भरोसा चोला माटी के रे, एकर का भरोसा चोला माटी